Hello, how are y'all?
You guys good in the back?
Yeah.
All right. Fire away, John.
Okay.
Coach, you got a real veteran group of cornerbacks. How's that been like to work with those?
It's been great. They have taken my coaching, done everything I've asked them to do. They come to work every single day. They're listening, and you can see them trying to do it, and they're getting better. So I'm excited about the group.
And what did it mean to have Raleigh come back?
You know what? Having a veteran guy that's played come back, it just gives us more experience in the room. And so him and Boogie and Zeke have all been leaders. So it's been great to have them back in the room.
Coach, anything specific that you tried to change, or what did you try to expect from them? I guess.
Well, when we're pressing, I just try to emphasize making sure that we're on top of the route at 10 yards, and so give our rush a chance. The next thing is locating the ball. The receiver gives you indicators, and when they look, you look. Just depends on what position you're in. If you're low hip, then you look inside. If you're on top, you look through him. If you're not in position, then you get ready to punch the ball out of his hands. And so that's one thing. It's just if you're a DB and you don't get your head around, you'll never make plays. Then the next thing is attacking the ball. You're the second guy there, try to punch the ball out, rip the ball. We got to create turnovers for our offense.
Coach, what's your transition been like since joining the staff, kind of getting this whole new thing kind of going here? How's it been in Waco?
It's been great. It's been fast. Working for Coach Aranda is great. He's a real genuine person, and he puts a lot of thought into it. And I've learned a lot since I've been here. Coach Roberts has been great. I've been learning a lot from him as well. So I'm excited about being here and a great city.
What would you say is the biggest improvement you've seen so far from the beginning of spring practice to now?
Well, I think where we are in our press and being on top of the routes at 10 yards, and then locating the ball. They're starting to look for the ball. And when they do that, they'll be able to make plays. And so we're working this week to attack the ball in the air and come down with it.
Talked a little bit about Raleigh, but Kalen's a guy, Boogie, that's been around for a long time now. What do you see in his skill set and kind of working with him?
You know, Boogie can run, and he is working to improve the little things. This week, I think the past 2 weeks, he's really located the ball a lot better, and he's executing the defense like we want him to. And so I expect him to just keep getting better and better and better. But you can tell that he wants to. So.
As coaches, do y'all treat Saturday as just another practice, an evaluation day, or is it, are you looking for competition, that kind of thing?
Well, for me, every day we step on this field and on our pads, it's game day. And so that's how you kind of keep from going up and down, up and down. Like every day, every time you put on the pads, it's game day. Now, if we're doing a walkthrough, it's a walkthrough. But if you put your pads on, you need to come with that mindset that it's game day and you're working and it's game speed. Now, we're always going to protect our team, and we're not going to go win at all costs, but we're going game speed.
How much is the experience of the linebackers and also the defensive line? What have you seen from them being behind, and how much that helps with you guys doing the second?
I mean, the D-line is doing a great job of getting pushed, taking up two blockers. The linebackers are shooting gaps and being where they're supposed to, creating great leadership. And so the safeties are communicating. They're leaders of the defense. And so it's been great. Everybody's improving. And so we're excited about just the opportunity to keep getting better and better.
How much have you learned about each one of your guys just on a daily basis about, how they work, what makes them tick, stuff like that, and how beneficial could that be?
Well, that's the most important thing. When you first come in, it's about getting to know those guys. And you sit down and you hear their story, hear what's important to them, and then you just keep spending time. And they understand that I care, and because I'm asking them things that are outside of football. And so, and we're going to come in and talk academics. We're going to come and talk about you. We're going to talk about football. And so they've all done everything I've asked them to do. They're really a really good group.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, thank y'all so much. Appreciate you.
Coach, your group of receivers, do they have the versatility you want? What are you looking for?
So when you look at the group overall, you kind of try to look at them as a basketball team. Like you want a point guard, you want a two guard, you want a forward who can do a lot of things. You want some big men inside, and I think we have length. I think we have speed. I think we have some toughness. So if we can kind of put that all together and have guys begin to complement each other. I think that's exactly what you look for when you get a new group.
And it's a real veteran group too. That's obviously a good thing.
Oh, I've gotten lucky with RJ and with Ty. Just those two alone, they are voted captain by their peers, so they speak to who they are as people and what they do off the field. And I'm able to bounce things off of them. What they've done in the past is, hey, is this beneficial? Do you like this? What do you want to do? And the understanding of the whys and communicating that down to the younger guys. So they've been instrumental in this transition for me.
Obviously, last year they struggled in a lot of ways offensively. I know that's last year. But how thirsty are they, you think, to be able to be more involved and be able to go down the field more and be a weapon to a lot of them?
I think no one who comes here wants to just be average. I think it's in all those guys that want to be great. So the first thing I wanted to do when I came is say, hey, I believe in you. Hey, I believe in you. Hey, I believe in you. You're here for a reason, and try to see who they are as a player and develop that. Hey, if you can run deep, hey, this is what you need to do to run deep. But before you get to 40 yards, there are things you have to do at 5 yards and at 10 yards, at 15 yards to get to 40 yards. So Ty referenced it. It's just doing the little things to get to those big plays and having those guys understanding it and putting the work and to trust the process. So for them guys to kind of buy in now and they see the fruit of it, throughout spring practice, I think that's been huge. And those guys transition to growing up to being a little more mature in the process.
Coach, you've got a veteran group, but then there's a couple of early enrollees, freshmen, Elijah and Javon. I think.
Yes.
Bigger guys, as you were talking about the different positions, they might fit more in one of those other roles. What are you seeing from those guys, and can they make an impact early?
For sure. I mean, it moved fast for me. Just imagine how it is for those guys. They're kids straight out of high school and should be going to prom, and they're here with a lot bigger, a lot faster, a lot more veteran guys trying to compete. But just the key is to treat everyone fairly, but not treating everyone the same. So I can't talk to them and teach them the way I teach Ty and RJ. So having them understand, hey, what is cloud? Why is it cloud? What does cloud look like? And why is the adjustment? Understanding the why for those guys really hits their brain. So they begin to process, oh, this is why I have to do it. So I have to do it this way. When they understand, then they can play fast. So and then Gip's a guy that can play inside and outside. He has a unique skill set. And for Bean, he's still learning. Like, he's put on, I think 18 pounds. That's a huge adjustment going from high school to now. You put on 18 pounds. How's my body just going to react to that? So both of those guys have done a good job.
Would you say, is there a specific, like, I know inside receiver was a little bit of a more of a question mark. Is that kind of like the biggest competition you would say now as far as up for grabs, or is it across the board?
I think it's across the board, but that position, we just so happen to have a lot of guys who can really play. Drew Estrada came in. Fleeks is doing a great job. You got Kobe White in the slot. RJ's been playing the slot when a lot of guys got hurt. So we have a lot of guys with, which I love, versatility. When I teach my guys, it's like, hey, don't learn F, don't learn X, don't learn Z. Hey, learn the concept so that when something happens, a guy goes down, it's not the next position, it's the next man up. So I have the guys learning everything. And then that position is critical to a lot of the reads and a lot of the stuff Grimy likes to do. So there is good competition there, what you want.
How do you keep Gavin Holmes from just getting frustrated? He seems like he's always had these issues. He was playing well, and he got the foot injury, whatever it might be. I'm not sure. But he couldn't participate in the rest of Saturday's practice.
Yeah. I think it starts well before the injury. If we preach here person over player. So when something like this happens, my voice to him, he trusts. In Coach Randall's voice, he trusts. Grimy's voice, he trusts, because we've loved on him before we knew how fast he can run and what's happened in the past. And I think in just talking to him, hey, we're here for you, man. I want you to be a part of this. Like, I want you to help trying to break down DBs, break down defense. I want you to be a part of the film room and everything, just knowing he still has this family, still have this camaraderie that we can help him get through it. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Coach, have you gone back and looked at RJ's highlight tape?
I have not. I made a specific choice not to look at anything they did last year, because I didn't want to come in with any type of misconception, any judgment. Like, I want to see them from ground zero, break them down and build them up, and just have a fair chance across the board. And those guys have responded. Like, I know his skill set now, I know what he can and can't do. I know what his strengths are, and we're going to play to those things.
He's kind of known for making some remarkable catches.
Yeah.
Have you seen that out?
So I joke with him. I said, you're making these catches a lot harder than they need to be. You know what I mean? I was like, you don't have to do all that. You know, if you just follow the teaching, follow the fundamentals, that'll be an easy catch for you. So we go back and forth, but you know, he's really come along. He's really stepped it up a notch and doing the right thing and still making those tough plays, those plays that are just like, hey, making the routine, the hard plays look routine. You know, that's our motto, making the hard plays look routine.
You say that, but Teo said that too. Last year, Larry Fedora said that, and then the offense struggled. Everyone was like, my God, why didn't you watch what they had done before? Is that because you're a position coach and you can kind of single them out rather than the entire offense of watching film?
I think so. I mean, you know your guy's best. You know your guy's best, and it's like, you know, I have a 4-year-old son, Aiden, who's awesome, but you know, in teaching him to understand everything, like I know him best. I know what he can do and can't do, and you have to set the standard for those guys. If no standard is set, everyone kind of does their own thing. So we talked about belief first. Like if they believe it, they can accomplish it. So hey, if it's a hard catch, I can make it routine, you know, and then it becomes natural to him. It's like, hey, I'm supposed to make that, as opposed to I might, you know, but I know I'm supposed to.
Coach, you mentioned Drew coming in. He's facing a little different level of competition, but what are your expectations for him?
I expect Drew to be a major contributor for us this year. Like we got to see what he can do. He can play all 3 positions, which is critical, extremely smart, very savvy in his route running, and we just got to get him back on the field. That's the biggest thing for him is just staying healthy and being able to contribute the way he can.
I think Randy said hamstrings, I guess, had been an issue for him.
Yeah, you know, we you know, most players have had some type of issue somewhere. So he's committed to the process, and he's going to do what he needs pre-practice, post-practice to get back. You know, we actually had to hold him, and that's what you want as a coach. Like, hey, we need to slow you down. We need you for the season. So he really wanted to come back, and you know, he's a worker, and I'm lucky to have him in my room right now.
You've been at an elite program. I mean, as elite as it can get. Not to put you on the spot, you see players on this roster that can, because Baylor has had elite teams before. Do you see guys walking around that are elite football players?
Oh, absolutely. Just in my room alone, you know, I did some research, and it talked about, you know, I think it was Sports Illustrated did a story on who's wide receiver you. You know, Baylor was number 6. So it's not uncommon for Baylor to have top tier players, and the guys walking around like Ty. You got RJ. I mean, Gavin, when he's healthy, you know, Drew adds to that room. Like Drew looks great. You know, he's explosive. You got Jackson Gleason who can take the top off. He can run. Jalen can run. And you bring in Bean, who's 6'5", and just put on, you know, 18 pounds. He looks good getting off the bus. You know, those guys can play. And I'm lucky to have such a great group just to start out.
With a guy like Jalen, who we've seen bits of, and obviously his speed going deep is something we know about, but what are kind of like the refinements that you're looking for there, the growth?
Just to expand his route tree. You know, he can run deep. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows he can run the post. But what about the intermediate routes? You know, do I have to take you off the field when we do those certain things? There's an alert for the defense. If he comes in, hey, he's going deep. So just trying to develop his game, getting him to buy in, getting him to truly compete and understand what it takes to be elite. And I think he's starting to get there, but it's going to take time. You know, he has the summer, then he has the fall, and that's where I think he's going to make his biggest strides to really contribute this year.
Found any good coffee in Waco?
Oh, man. Let me start it. I have Pinewood, Lighthouse, Dichotomy is another good one. I feel like I'm missing somewhere. Oh, if you go out a little bit, I forgot the name of it. It's over at the, it's out of way. It's like 20 minutes away. Man, what's the name of that place? I forgot the name of it, but that one's good too. I still have 4 or 5 choices where I can really kind of go and drop in. Yeah.
You got like a chemistry lab.
You all are invited. Come by.
I don't know any of these places at all.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Zeke, you guys had a good year pass defense last year. What do you expect from this year?
I expect us to take it to the next level. As we've done previously, a lot of turnovers. I expect that to continue and to take it to the next level and to do better with that all around.
You like the experience you guys have here?
Yeah, I like the things that Coach Roberts is doing with us with our defense and our effort. I expect us to fly around on the defense all year this upcoming season.
What would you say is the biggest difference level, comfort-wise, for you and other players now versus, you know, first meeting Coach Roberts, first kind of getting introduced to everything?
I would say just knowing what he's about and knowing that trusting in him and trusting in the defense and seeing how it all plays out together.
Can you talk about Coach Curtis? I know he's right there, so he may be listening in. But what are you seeing from him, and what's he kind of stressing? I guess because I know he's got a background with turnovers too. Like that's been a big deal for him.
He's helping a lot in our ball skills, like making sure we locate the ball and make sure, that we have equal opportunity with the receiver to go get the ball and not just be, turned around, so we can make a play and help our defense get the ball back to our offense.
What would you say has been the biggest improvement that you've seen from the first spring practice to now?
I would say our effort. We're all running around the ball, getting to the ball a lot more each and every practice.
Zeke, what's it like to have the guys in front, the linebackers and the defensive linemen that you guys have? How much fun does that make y'all's job, and how much does that help?
It makes it a lot easier because, our linemen and linebackers are getting to the quarterback, so it's making our quarterbacks having to throw, throw rush throws, giving us the opportunity to go and make a turnover.
Zeke, you've already got your master's, right? Are you starting to work on a doctorate? Is that right? Or?
I'm in the PhD program.
And what's your PhD in?
Electrical and computer engineering.
What's that?
Electrical and computer engineering.
You might be the first in Baylor history, I'm pretty sure. How much of an accomplishment is that for you, and what's that been like to already get 2 degrees here?
It feels good. I'm here for football, so also being here for school, I'm going to be here around, I got to take classes anyway. It's like, why not get the most out of it?
How much are you looking forward to Saturday? Hopefully even more fans will be here.
Really excited for the whole team to get out there so we can show everyone what we got.
How nice has it been to just have spring practices? Like, how much of a difference do you think that makes, and how much of a difference does it make for you as an individual?
Spring practice, it's a huge difference. It's a lot of opportunity to, get better, so that way when we get into fall camp, we can hit the ground running. We know what we need to work on in the summer, so we should be a lot more improved.
All right. Thanks, Zeke. Thank you, Zeke.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, John.
Tyquan, you are going to have a new starting quarterback for the first time in a while. How's that been going working with those guys?
It's been going good. We've been getting a lot of reps. I feel like all three of the quarterbacks been performing at a high level. So I feel like we're getting good timing in, and we all putting work in together.
What have been your initial impressions of Coach Stuckey and just kind of what he's asking the wide receivers to do?
Basically just coming to work every day. He bringing a lot of tools, teaching us a lot of things, just the small details, starting with stands and starts, the small things that you think is not important. So we all just coming to work every day, taking it all step by step, second days.
You look like you put some weight on. What was your off season like? I mean, clearly you made. Everybody's talked about the strides made. Could you kind of give us your experience?
I just knew I had to get stronger in the weight room, so I had that mindset, attacking the weight room, getting stronger, basically.
What do you thought of the new staff, strength and conditioning staff?
Oh yeah, I feel good about them. I love the workouts we've been doing. Feel better, so you can see it, and I'm pretty proud that they're here.
Tyquan, there were a lot of expectations on you last year. Do you feel like this is a year where you could maybe kind of take that next step?
Yes, I feel like this would be a good year for me.
What do you think held you back, or was there anything last year that maybe you weren't able to take that step?
I battled a lot of injuries last year, so this last year was like staying healthy, basically just battling against myself. But this year I'm pretty healthy and I'm full go.
Tyquan, what's it like having such a veteran group of receivers? What's the competition like out there?
It's pretty excited, Every day you got guys making plays, different guys. You got me, you got RJ, you got J-Red, Gleason, Gavin, a lot of guys that can play, so it's pretty competitive.
How much did you entertain maybe leaving after last year, and what ultimately brought you back to Baylor for another year?
Just the culture of joy, I see a lot of room for improvement, so this year I'm expecting a whole better season.
Particularly after not having a spring last year, how big was this for you guys to have this and maybe just come closer together and just have a spring football?
Yeah, it was huge for us. So last year, not having a spring, that's basically like the time we get all the bonding in, building that family, that brotherhood. So we didn't have that last year, but we got that this year. So I'm pretty excited to see what it brings to the season.
how much of a different place do you think the team is as far as chemistry goes versus a year ago?
Oh, no, I feel like the team is like at a whole different state. You know, the coaches, the players, training staff, all of us, we together as one. So it's a whole lot better.
What excites you most about Saturday's spring bowl game?
Excuse me.
What excites you most about Saturday and the spring game?
Just to see all the guys come out and play, you know, as one. You know, no coaches on the field, you know, coaches on the sideline. And we just go out there and play and compete at a high level.
Is there a little bit of an excitement level, a little bump or whatever when y'all go over to the stadium anyway? I mean, not whether you're playing a game or not, just going over there.
Yeah, so the stadium will give you a different energy. So we know, like, once we practice in here in the indoor or out there on the fields, like, all right, that's practice. But once you go in the stadium, you got to, you know, take it up a notch.
Tyquan, I've seen you make some tough catches, a couple practices we've been able to watch. What have you worked on being more physical? Like, what's kind of been your mindset this offseason?
Just being more dominant. Just being more dominant at everything that I do. You know, keeping my eyes on the ball, seeing it, having little eyes, like Coach Stuckey say. It's just, like, taking care of the football, that's all.
All right. Thanks, Corn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.